Live from News Watch 12, this is College Football Game Night.
Hello, November football, and hello, college football fans. Thanks for spending your Saturday night with us. I'm Peyton Manny.
And I'm Madison Marie. We know of a really good team up north in Eugene, but I think we know of even a better team right now in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Alabama Crimson Tide Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, thank you.
18 natties and counting.
And counting.
Anyways,
SOU.
Back to this. Back to reality. SOU, Oregon, and Oregon State all back on the field this afternoon. The Beavers and the Raiders looking to redeem themselves with a win, and the Ducks hoping to remain undefeated.
SOU back at home hosting Eastern Oregon on Senior Day in a must-win game. A bittersweet day for 19 seniors on the roster, but a day for 19 Raiders to help get this team one game closer to the postseason appearance. Let's get right to it. Out to Raider Stadium for some highlights.
SOU.
Eastern Oregon at number 16 SOU for the last home game of the regular season. Raiders in a must-win situation from here on out. Here we go. First offensive drive for SOU. Blake Asciutto hands it off to Gunnar Yates, and you know what happens next because it happens every week.
Every week.
No one can catch him. The cheat code gets loose for a 77-yard touchdown run. Raiders strike first, 7-0. D-block goes 3 and out, so here's Asciutto in the offense again. Play action. Dart to the back of the end zone. A one-handed grab from Jeremiah Fallstick. Send that one to ESPN Top 10.
SVP is calling. Eastern looking to close in on the 14-0 deficit. Set up for the field goal. The kicker doinks it. No good. Raiders lead 14-0 through the first. Second quarter, Asciutto hands it off to Yates, breaking away from the defense, off to the races. He gets tripped up inside the one, putting the Raiders right back in scoring position. So let's bring out Isaiah Hidalgo for the touchdown. The senior punches it in from 1 out, and the Raiders extend 21-0.
Eastern finally has an answer. Quincy Glasper has some time in the pocket before hitting Malachi Spurrier in the back of the end zone. PAT missed, no harm done. Raiders still lead 21-6. Raiders controlling the clock, drive down the field quickly. Asciutto slings it. Hello, Sawyer Cleveland with the hops. Touchdown, Raiders. Ensuing offensive possession for the Mounties. Glasper gets it out of his hands quick, but he throws it right to Jalen Speed, turning defense into offense.
His last name's Speed.
Yeah, the Mounties can't get to him. The last line of defense is the quarterback. He's got nothing for him. How about a pick six, please, and thank you. SOU leaving no room for a comeback as they head into half with a 35-14 lead.
Speed showing off the speed. First half done, Raiders off to a good start.
Raiders trying to hold on for one more half and put this game away. Second half highlights coming up next. You're watching College Game Night.
Live from News Watch 12, welcome back to College Football Game Night.
The Raiders learned a tough lesson last week against Carroll. Football is a game of 4 quarters.
SOU looking to finish this one out and grab win number 8. Back to Raider Stadium for second half highlights. We're back after half. Eastern with the ball to start. Psych, Glasper throws his second pick of the day, this time to Jackson Jedrzejkowski. Nothing's going to come from it, and we're going to go scoreless in the third. Throw up those 4s. We got one more to go. Asciutto getting us started right off the bat, looking for one of his Raiders, but he's scrambling. He's going to keep it and go the distance. Mounties can't seem to figure it out. Diving into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders.
Mounties now trailing by 28, and Tylerson's defense won't allow any forward progression. Not one, but 2.
How many?
Back-to-back sacks for Glasper. SOU's D-line suffocating the Eastern attack. Time now winding down in the fourth. SOU with the win already, but why not add on another touchdown? Asciutto to Ryan Pendleton from 3 out, his first touchdown of the season and first as a Raider.
Raiders roll and keep their playoff hopes alive. The final 49-21. Here's Coach Brown and a few Raiders post-game.
It's going to be a contrast of styles. They're a very prolific offense who spreads the ball around, runs no huddle, wants to throw it, and we controlled the clock, and we controlled the half that way, and our offense was on the field a majority of that first half, and I think that's what led to the score being what it was at half. I wasn't happy with the second half, especially the third quarter. We did a great job getting after 6. I mean, their quarterback was elusive as can be, and we got after him.
I feel good. I feel like everybody played to the standard, and you know, it was no drop-off when the younger guys came out, so, you know, we got the dub, so that's the biggest thing.
Feels awesome. Offense needed it for sure to come back and score some points after last week. I think this team has a lot of confidence. We talked about swagger this week, having a lot of swagger. I think the celebrations that we have after touchdowns, I think that keeps our swagger up, keeps our confidence up.
And senior day for our Raiders. 19 seniors. The Raiders celebrated their final regular season home game with senior day. Fans, friends, and family took the field to celebrate their favorite Raiders.
From long hours of practice to unforgettable Saturdays at Raider Stadium, these seniors have been the backbone of this team, battling through the highs and lows, sacrificing their time and energy, and helping build the foundation of a strong, successful program.
With one game left to play in the regular season, these 19 seniors will look to lead their team to a postseason appearance for the first time since 2017. Coach Brown got a little emotional post-game when talking about these guys, expressing how happy he was to send them off with an undefeated home record.
I'm happy to give those 19 guys, there's one who snuck in there, I think he's going to play his last year, those 19 guys a victory at home. You know, one of our preseason goals was to stay undefeated at home, and we're undefeated at home. So I'm proud that we got to get them that, and we sent them off with a good taste in the mouth from Raider Stadium.
Stat sheet from Raiders Stadium. SOU dominated on offense, rolling up 546 total yards, keeping EOU to 284.
The Raiders' reliable run game putting up numbers today. 344 total rushing yards for the Raiders, 66 for Eastern.
Blake Asciutto playing a clean game, completing 22 of his 29 passes for a 75% passing percentage, 202 yards for Asciutto with 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing score.
Gunnar Yates leading the way with 21 carries for 274 yards with 1 touchdown. Isaiah Hidalgo also with 8 carries for 49 yards and 1 touchdown.
Sawyer Cleveland, one of 3 receivers to find the house today. He finished with 4 catches for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. Those other 2 coming from Jeremiah Folstick and Ryan Pendleton.
6 defensive players getting to Eastern Oregon's quarterback today with a half a sack or more. Gabe Foster leading with 3 sacks for 23 yards.
And 2 Raiders with picks, Jalen Speed and Jackson Jedrzejkowski, making Coach Stin pretty happy today.
Very happy today. We love those pick 6 celebrations.
And it all comes down to this one final regular season game, this time against the one and only College of Idaho.
Another date with destiny for the Raiders. Like we've said all week and will continue to say, these final games for the Raiders are must wins.
And this matchup is no different. The Raiders took down the Yotes earlier this season with a huge 45-27 victory.
Kickoff for this game is set for noon in Idaho. A lot on the line for both teams.
Another opponent in Eugene today looking to break the perfect Ducks.
Highlights from Oregon's matchup against Maryland coming up on Gamenight.
Live from News Watch 12. Welcome back to College Football Gamenight.
Only 1 of 5 left in the nation. The Ducks enter today a perfect 9-0 for the 3rd time in program history.
Oregon hosted Maryland at Autzen, a team that is coming off a bye week after losing 3 of their last 4 games.
The Ducks were without star receiver Tez Johnson after a non-season-ending shoulder injury he had against Michigan. The list of weapons are just endless for Oregon. Autzen Stadium for an evening game in Eugene. It never rains at Autzen, and that's raining true today. Maryland can't find the end zone. They set it for a field goal from 37 yards out. It's right through the uprights. Jack Howes knew he had to make it. The Ducks start things off.
Nothing working for Oregon until late in the first. Jordan James taking it, bouncing off every defender. First one for the Ducks, 7-3. Into the second, Maryland in Ducks territory. Jordan Burge gets to Billy Edwards Jr. Ball's loose. Brandon Johnson is there on the scoop. And it's all speed from there, taking it the distance, bumps Oregon's lead 14-3.
Maryland knocking right before half. Roman Hemby right up the middle. It's the first of the night for the opponent. Cuts the lead to 4. And under 20 seconds left in the half, Dylan Gabriel scrambling. Plenty of time in protection. Hits Terrence Ferguson right in the back. Oregon walks in the locker room up 20-10.
Back after half, Oregon on 2nd and goal. Gabriel over the top, finding Wilson, the big man, getting into the end zone. Into the fourth, Maryland in scoring position. Edwards Jr. gets it out of his hands. Seconds before getting hit, it's Octavian Smith in the end zone.
They go for two. Edwards Jr. pushes it in, cutting the Ducks' lead 29-18. Oregon, and under 6 minutes left in the fourth, 20 yards out. Sappington right down the middle, add 3 for Oregon.
Still some time for Maryland. Edwards Jr. under pressure, lets it fly. Oregon's secondary is there instead. Pick for the Ducks to wrap up the night. But they won't go out without one more. Gabriel finds Evan Stewart on the run. He tiptoes into the crib. That's all she wrote. The final 39-18 Oregon. The Ducks remain undefeated. Oregon's stat sheet looking pretty impressive tonight. The Ducks totaled 363 offensive yards, holding Maryland to 291. On the ground, the Terps only managed 85 yards, the Ducks 180.
Through the air, Maryland got the best of Oregon, passing for 206 yards. Dylan Gabriel went 23 of 34 for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns. Gabriel also becoming the NCAA all-time career touchdown holder with tonight's performance.
Noah Whittington led the rushing attack tonight, totaling 77 yards on 13 carries. Evan Stewart and Terrence Ferguson led the receivers, combining for 90 yards on 12 receptions with 2 touchdowns. Next on the chopping block for the Ducks, Wisconsin. Oregon hits the road to face the Badgers next week.
We saw this matchup in the 2020 Rose Bowl game when the Ducks snuck away with a 28-27 victory. The all-time series is tied 3-3.
Kickoff set for 4:30 p.m. Will the Badgers break the undefeated record? Oregon State Beavers fresh off a bye.
Highlights from Corvallis as they host San Jose State coming up tonight on Game Night.
Live from News Watch 12. Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Oregon State football fresh off bye week and looking to avoid their longest losing streak since 2021. They hosted San Jose State today.
A rematch for the Beavers from last season's opener and a battle between the Beavers defense and the Spartans offense. Oregon State needing 2 more wins to become bowl eligible.
Afternoon game in Corvallis. Beavers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Ben Gulbranson getting the start today. A deep shot downfield, finding Jermaine Terry, the big tight end, into plus territory.
But moments later, the Beavs left-hand man fumbles, and Anthony Hankerson coughs it up, and the Spartans are all over it. It's a turnover.
Hanky.
So the next drive, the Spartans are going for it on 4th and 4. It's batted down at the line. Turnover on downs once again.
The first score of the game doesn't come until the second quarter. Everett Hayes drives in a field goal with some time left in the half. Beavers on the board first. Spartans on offense again, getting the 1-and-1 coverage they want. Nick Nash with the incredible catch. That makes it 7-3 Spartans.
Kyler Hanforsen from 32 yards out now, pushing the lead to 10-3 for San Jose State. 40 seconds left now in the half. Hankerson making up for that fumble this time, gets downhill, finds the end zone, and it's a tie game just like that heading into the locker room.
Second half, here we go. Beavers hoping to hold the small lead. The Beavs get 3 more in the third, and the struggles begin. 4th and goal. Gulbranson throws it to the back of the end zone. Turnover on downs. Trent Bray just can't believe what he's seen.
Oh, just wait. He's not going to want to believe this one either. 3rd and 13. Gulbranson picked off, and it's just an easy path back to the house. DJ Harvey with the pick 6 for the Spartans. Rounding out the game now, Floyd Chalk, the 4th, cuts through the Beavs defense and hits the end zone. Oregon State falls under the 500 with a 24-13 loss at Reser. 3 games left to get back to bowl eligibility.
Not the prettiest stat sheet for the Beavers today. Oregon State did lead in total offense, 474 yards for the Beavs, 463 for San Jose State.
Spartans controlling the passing game with 395 yards, Beavers 292.
Oregon State did control the run, holding the Spartans to 68 rushing yards while finishing with 182.
Ben Gulbranson getting the start today, but really not making much of a difference, going 24-37 for 292 yards and 2 interceptions.
The Beavs single touchdown coming from their go-to guy, Anthony Hankerson, 30 carries for 121 yards and 1 touchdown.
And look at the kicker making the stat sheet tonight. Everett Hayes going for a perfect 2 for 2, giving the Beavs 7 points. An easy travel for the Beavs next week as they face Air Force.
Hoping to snap a 4-game losing streak before rounding out the season.
Kickoff is set for 12:30 p.m. on CBS SN. Lucky for us, we didn't just get college football today.
No, we also got some high school playoff football.
2 of our teams from right here in the region on the road facing even tougher opponents in the race for the title. Jumping into 3A, the Red Devils took a hard hit to the undefeated Banks Braves, dropping 42-6.
That'll end the season for Coquille as they wrap up 4-6 overall. Banks remaining perfect heading into round 2.
The defending state champs Lost River on the road facing Gaston for a Saturday matchup. In the first, Kyle Diaz under center, breaking loose through the gap, hits the end zone. The Raiders get on the board. They go for 2. The handoff to Caden Hartman, bulldozing his way in. Bully ball for Lost River.
Run game intact, but Diaz does it all. Lets it fly downfield, finding Drew McDonald wide open. The end zone is all his. Touchdown Raiders ahead of the half. The final 42-6 Lost River. They'll face Heppner next week on the road.
A title for Lost River would be their first in 2A. So they're the defending state champs in 1A. So
it would be a three-peat for the program, but first in 2A.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of great playoff football, a lot of great college football.
Yeah.
The Raiders still with their playoff hopes alive. You love to see it.
One more time. Roll Tide.
Oh, roll tide.
Tide.
Always. Roll Tide always. We hope you love that game just as much as we did. But that's going to wrap it up for week 10 of the football season. For the latest news, weather, and of course sports, head to our website, ktrb.com.
Special edition of News Watch 12 is next.